What's up guys? Sean at Shock Surplus here. We got a Power Wagon update, a Fox 2.0 with reservoir update here. If you guys haven't been following along, this is my 2020 Power Wagon and it's got Carly's Backcountry kit system on it right now. What we've been doing is I moved over from my 2006 Toyota Tacoma, had to get a new vehicle. We got the 2020 Power Wagon. I wanted a solid axle vehicle to really just check out how all the suspension works and what we can do with this thing. It's a beast, I love it. What we're also doing is going through Carly's entire suspension catalog. We don't sell Carly, so truly unbiased. We're not trying to sell Carly. We're not trying to do anything like that, but we really want to see what kind of differences all of these shocks make on a heavier vehicle like this. Are reservoirs worth it? Are a 2.5 inch shock worth it? How big do you really need to go on your rig? Of course, that all comes down to the type of driving you do. Are you going really fast, like out here in the Nevada high desert? Or are you more slow going, scenic, mountainous driving, which is kind of more my style. Lake Tahoe's right over there, so we spend a lot of time in the mountains and that's kind of my preferred terrain. Their commuter system, which we initially put on about 15,000 miles ago, came with the Fox 2.0 IFPs. Really awesome first impression, massive difference over stock suspension. On the stock suspension, we ran, the Bilsteins and then the Rancho RS 9000s. You can check out those reviews on our channel. And then now with the Fox 2.0 IFPs, now we're on the reservoirs. And then next up will be the King 2.5 Pintops, which are Carly's kind of cream of the crop system that everyone really loves. Back to my experiences so far. My truck is loaded up about 500 extra pounds in the back right now, including, a cargo glide, ARE accessories, camper shell, and a rhino rack. But at any given time on our camping trips, we got between 500 and 1,000 pounds of gear in the back, which, is quite a bit more than what most people carry. I believe, most of Carly's kits aren't really oriented towards, quote unquote overlanders or, heavily loaded down vehicles. Their springs are really soft riding, really nice, and then they use different shock packages to control the weight of the vehicle through that suspension articulation. Does it extremely well, super impressed. When I moved over to the Backcountry 2.0 reservoir shocks, I felt like everything got a little bit looser. And by looser, I mean a little bit more body roll on the daily drive on the street. It feels really nice, and it is not too much body roll, but I just kind of noticed it when you're a stickler for suspension dynamics like we are, and that's literally all I think about. So far, I think the reservoir shocks are kind of overkill for what I do. I'm kind of surprised to say that, mainly because I don't do a lot of high-speed off-roading. A lot of these roads out here are graded, pretty smooth, heavy traffic, so there's not a lot of washboard happening. There's not a lot of irregular terrain that the suspension is constantly cycling through. So for me, the reservoir shock really doesn't provide much benefit at all. I actually prefer tighter suspension feel, so less body roll. The load in the back of my truck isn't kind of swaying as much. So that's just my personal preference, and everyone, you guys have your own personal preference. Let us know in the comments actually what kind of driving you do and what kind of shock you might be looking for, or how you want your suspension to perform, because I'm always interested in hearing how other people are driving and what their needs are, because one high-end type of shock isn't a magic bullet for all of your suspension woes. And a lot of people kind of think the Fox King icon name are going to solve exactly what they're looking for, and it's the best of all worlds. That's not really the case, and that's kind of the purpose of all of these suspension journeys that we're going on with our own trucks. So are they overkill? Maybe, it depends. If you're doing a lot of mountainous driving, slower going, they are probably overkill, and the normal Fox 2.0 IFP are gonna be more than enough. The 2.0 IFP, still a super solid product. I might even end up putting them back on the truck before the next stage of Pintop. So the King 2.5s are on the way for the Power Wagon, and I can't wait to get those on. Are those going to be overkill? They might be, but we're gonna find out. Let me know if you're running the Pintop, or if you're running the Backcountry system on Carly's setup, or even Thurin. You know, been really kind of curious about getting into a custom tuned set of Fox 2.5s from Thurin with some DSC adjustments. That's more my style, loosening it up on the high speed, or firming it up on the high speed, loosening it up on the daily drive. You know, these kind of adjustments really go a long way on a adjustable shock, which Carly doesn't have. So you never know. We'll see what happens here in the near future. If you are interested in other suspension journeys, we are doing a brand new Ranger, brand new Silverado, and a newish 4Runner, and kind of starting them on stage 1 all the way through, you know, stage 4 or 5 in terms of suspension and shock kits, to see, you know, how big of a difference all of these different kits make and whether or not it's for you. So thanks so much. Give a like if you can, subscribe, comment, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Instagram. We'd love to hear anything you guys are looking for. Thanks so much.